How's it going, guys? So in today's video I want to do a oil change how-to for my BMW F800r, and this is my first time doing oil change on this particular motorcycle. So follow along with me. We are going to try to get this done as smoothly as possible for a first timer. Okay, a couple of things you'll need, and a few of those are not cheap. So if you know that F800r for the BMW uses a proprietary ODB system that you will need a special tool and software to access. What I use is called MotoScan. This is one of the popular app that's available for Android only. Paired with a Bluetooth ODB reader and a converter, with the MotoScan, I am able to actually reset the maintenance minder for my F800r. The oil change is due in March, and right now it is March 2025. So we're going to be doing that. This bike requires oil change every 8,000 miles and or every 1 year, whichever comes first. So I bought this bike about half a year ago, and the owner told me, you know, just follow the schedule, it should be good. So now it's over 6 months and it's due for a oil change. We're going to take the oil out, putting some brand new oil. Now there is going to be a gazillion of discussion on oil types. Okay, I change my own oil for all my motorcycles, cars, whatever. There's never a wrong choice for motor oil. Okay, so usually I go with manufacturer's recommendations. In this case, I'm using 15W50, and this is probably one of the best oil you can get for 15W50, which is the mobile one, full synthetic with no additives. How do you know it doesn't have any energy conserving additives? You look over here where it doesn't say energy conservation. Below the API marking, you are good to go. So this is a great oil, reliable, protects for up to 10,000 miles on the car, and this filter to go with the Mobile One synthetic oil. Now, again, debates with people on what kind of filter to use. Some people swear by BMW specified filters. Perfectly fine, you can go with that. For me, I'm using a larger capacity oil filter with the same thread for the F800r. Okay, so, and it's easy to figure out why I would like to use this. If you look, that this protrudes a lot more, gives it almost 100% increase in capacity, in oil filtration capacity. Okay, so this would further increase and protect your engine from having bad maintenance done to it. Now, obviously, I take really good care of my bike. With this filter, it probably works fine. This is a factory recommended filter, but I just want to go a little bit extra, giving it a extra capacity filter that's compatible with the F800r. The whole process is going to be super easy and simple. You need a proprietary app to be able to reset that maintenance minder. It comes up when you start the bike. Without that, that maintenance minder is going to stay there forever. You have to go to the dealer to get it reset. Okay, you need a torque wrench for the bolt, just a regular wrench over here with a 10mm hex key. Okay, so this little axis bolt is 10mm. Once you loosen it, oil comes out from here. Just make sure you catch all the oil. My bike is not on a center stand. I don't have a center stand, but looking at the engine design, okay, this is the perfect area to have the bike on the side stand. The oil is all going to be dumped out almost completely from this lowest point. So nope, you don't need a center stand to do this job. But I do recommend put this on some sort of a stool to make sure the bike is level when you check the bike, when you check the dipstick for engine oil once you finish doing it. Now, how much oil do you need? According to BMW user manual, owner's manual, you need about 3.2 quarts, or about let's see, 5 quarts. Yeah, you need about 3.2 quarts. So I did my calculation. This is 5 quarts starting here, and I minus the 3.2, I get about, you know, I should stop here. So I'm counting, this is 1 quart, 2 quart, 3 quart, and 3.2 right here. But since I'm using a extended capacity oil filter, I'm adding just that little bit extra 0.5 quarts to accompany for the additional oil that's going to be used in this oil filter. Okay, so I made my marking right here. I'm going to stop. Once we fill the oil, we're going to stop right here, and that will be the precise amount needed. You can do your own calculation, but for me, the easiest way is to just count 1, 2, 3, and 3.2, make a marking here with a subtraction method. All right, so that's pretty much everything I want to tell you. Again, let's actually open up the top of the case. Removing the seat. And by the way, I did some extra videos for my F800r, starting from the removal of the fairings and accessing of the airbox and what's behind or below the airbox, as well as a video on how to install a really nice quick shifter from Hyotech. Okay, so all those videos is going to be available in my playlist for motorcycle maintenance, so make sure you subscribe and check them out. So this is with the seat removed. Okay, and with the seat removed, we will be able to see the ODB port. Again, this is a proprietary port that requires a adapter. All right, and it also requires a proprietary software that you need to purchase. Those are all going to be additional expenses if you want to reset that maintenance minder. I'm going to turn on the bike, and you can see the maintenance minder comes up. See, service, let's do right now, and we're going to perform that service. Okay, and we're at about 6,000 miles. Again, recommended oil change is around 6,000 to 8,000. So yeah, just about time. And I'm going to turn off the bike, and let's start the process. All right, so I just loosened the bolt with my wrench, and now it's going to be pretty easy to actually turn. And just have your oil pan ready. Okay, make sure you're not making a huge mess. Let's see. Catch the bolt. Wow, this oil is pretty bad. Pretty bad. I didn't order a crush washer, but this one seems to be in okay condition, so we're gonna continue using it. Not a lot of things on the magnetic trap, so I think in terms of engine debris, we should be good. And wow, this oil is really, really dirty. I don't know if that guy actually did any oil change. Hopefully he did. Let me go grab some towel, and we're gonna clean this, and we're gonna get the oil filter out as well. All right, while the oil is draining, we're gonna take the oil filter out. My usual method is always just being a plumber's plier, and this actually works great. Okay, so I literally just grab, and I'm gonna try to turn. The previous owner or whatever mechanic did the maintenance, and it was way over tightened. So might take me both hands, but let's try to see. Okay, no, nice. All right, so the rest you can use your hand, and hopefully not much comes out. And again, just make sure you don't make a huge mess. Let it drip. Still plenty of oil on the top part. Okay, pretty heavy. This is what it looks like. Okay. So again, we're gonna let everything drain really nicely. This is a really tiny filter, all right? And I think for 3 liters, it should definitely have a filter that's have a little larger capacity, right? So I'm glad I got the mobile one. This is a model number, and it's not terribly expensive. It's like $10 to $12. $10 on sale at BJ's Wholesale Club, and about $12 in Walmart. Now, just as a trial, I tried the thread, and it seems like it's gonna be threading in there perfectly, and it also aligns the lip with the side of the oil filter catch. So we're good to go with this M1-102A filter. So if you guys are interested in looking for a high capacity filter, and if you have a 2-cylinder engine where the exhaust is not going to be in the way, this is a great alternative compared to the factory recommended size of the filters, which stops like literally right there. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take it out, and I'm gonna fill this with fresh oil. All right, so the flow seems to have about to be fully stopped. At this point, there's no point really to keep draining. I'm just gonna close the hole, pre-fill my oils in the filter, put the filter on there, and start filling the actual oil through the oil filling hole right here. And the whole job should be done after this. All right, I'm putting the bolts back on there. Again, I would suggest get new washers if possible. Okay, those copper washers shouldn't be too expensive. All right, and I'm gonna tighten it by hand first, and then I'm gonna use my torque wrench and set it to 18 Newton meters and properly tighten with the torque wrench. Let's see. So it's actually already pretty tightened. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So you don't really need a lot of torque for that bolt. And when I was trying to take the bolts out, it was way over tightened. So just keep that in mind. Hand tightened with a little quarter turn is probably enough for that bolt. Now we close the hole here. We're gonna pre-fill the oil in the oil filter, and we're gonna install the oil filter. I coated the O-ring with fresh oil, and I filled it about halfway full, because when I do this, only half of the oil is going to be staying in there. So now we can try to align it and get it onto the hole right there. Okay, try to use one hand. It's going to be tough, but let's see. Looks like we are on, and the rest will be pretty easy. We're gonna hand tighten, and then I'm gonna use my little wrench, just ever so slightly grip and tighten just a little bit more. Again, nothing needs a lot of pressure here, okay? So just make sure you don't over tighten everything. So I'm gonna grip, and I'm just gonna turn a little bit more until the O-ring sits in there. That's about good. All right, so oil filter installation is complete. Not really protruding much and not really touching anything. So I think this is gonna be a great upgrade in terms of oil filtering capacity and engine life. Okay, so next step, I'm gonna fill the oil, and again, just gonna check constantly to make sure that the oil level stops right here at where it is indicated, which in theory should be 1.75, but I'm counting here in terms of the amount of oil I'm going to be using, so 3.25. Okay. For the actual filling of the oil, I am popping it up on a little just raised area on a brick, so the bike is almost centered. I could also check the oil level after finishing with dumping the oil in here, and so that would definitely help. So there's a dipstick right here. So ideally you want it to be just between minimum and maximum, and I believe you have to check the oil level when the engine is warm. I believe so, but again, with proper amount of oil, we shouldn't go wrong, right? So let's just get started and start pouring. Again, I have to use two hands, so I'll show you guys once the oil is dumped in there. All right, checking the level. We are right about 1.75 quarts left, which is the exact amount we need for this bike, which is about 3.2 quarts / 3 liters. Okay, and I am going to take everything out. Try to leave those on the side, put the little thing back in there. Maybe just do a quick dip and see where the oil level stays right after the filling, okay? And again, since the bike is almost level, we should be able to find out the exact level. Let's see. Whoa, it's a lot. I think we overfilled. Quite possibly we overfilled. I do need to get the bike running, try to suck everything in and double check. If it is overfilled, I'll use my little oil siphoning tool to get some oil out. We don't want too much oil in here, but the spec says 3.2 quarts. That's exactly how much we put in. Okay, 3.2 quarts, so that's 1 quart, 2 quart, 3 and 3.2. With the extra filter, 3.25 maybe, so stopped right here. So yeah, that's something for you guys to consider if it's your first time changing your own oil. Definitely keep that in mind. I run the bike a little bit, then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you guys how to reset the maintenance minder using the MotoScan app, okay? All right, so we got the physical oil change part done. We are going to start resetting the trip meter, okay? So you can see I already hooked up my adapter, ODB adapter, which is the round to the ODB sensor. I hooked up my required ODB Link LX Bluetooth adapter, which connects with my Bluetooth utility on my phone. And I already have my my bike, model number, whatever, bookmarked. So basically, it's the same thing from me clicking the home button where I bookmarked it. Right now it is linking, but there are actually it's not fully connected, so I got to turn on the power. Okay, and there should be more lights, hopefully blinking, and if not, let's check. We are going to maintenance, instrument cluster. It's trying to connect, and if it's not connecting, okay, so it found it, or start the bike. So basically I connected to the interface. The host is blinking, okay. It's detecting the battery voltage, which is perfectly fine. Let's see, central chassis. We need to just find the maintenance options in here, because since this is my first time. So we probably don't have any trouble codes to read. Nope, no trouble codes. Live data, service reset. Okay, so we're gonna come to service reset. We're gonna change to 10,000 miles. Actually, let's change it to 8,000 miles. Okay, and we're gonna change the reset date to 2016. And since I rarely ride my bike, we can extend it 1 to 2 months. We can set it to April 30th for actually May 1st for maintenance. Okay, and we're gonna reset it. Okay, so it's gonna tell me in on April 1st, I mean, yes, May 1st next year, I'm gonna do an oil change. And also if my odometer runs to reset service minder, let's see, I'm gonna change to, and this is where the service minder is gonna pop up. So right now we have 6,000 miles. We're gonna change it to, let's say 8,000, so 14. Let's do 1,300 miles. 13,000. Yep. So on the once we reach over here, or here, it will tell me that it's time to change it's time to change the oil. Okay, so I also need to keep another separate calendar reminder for me to change the air filter based on the mileage that I've driven. But this is just this one needs a hard reset using one of those proprietary tools. But that's pretty much it. And again, with the MotoScan tool, this is outside of oil change. You can also do a brake bled for the ABS brake system by forcing the ABS pump to squeeze out the whatever brake fluid is in the pump to get the new fluid in there. So it's really a nice, some parrots, really nice tool to have, the MotoScan app. Okay, if you have a BMW bike, get an adapter. It's about, I think, $70, $80. I even bought an Android phone, which is about $100, and the app itself is not terribly expensive. It's like $30 or $40. So together, in total, I spent a little more than $200 to get this whole package for resetting, for diagnostic purpose, and for, yeah, just pretty much this tool can help me do everything that I need to do electronic-wise on this bike, which I think is well worth the price. Okay, so oil change is done. Maintenance miner is reset for oil, and we really don't have anything else to do besides go out and do a ride and enjoy the ride, right? So hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe. And again, I will have more motorcycle maintenance and BMW F800r related videos coming out. And just to double check to see if the service got reset, we're gonna disconnect. Actually, we don't have to disconnect. We can just turn on the bike and see what it says. It's gonna be next year of 2026. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I think I said to May, but yeah, somehow it went back to March. I think it was there are two dates. I think it's resetting the date on the bottom. But regardless, it is 1 year reset. As long as it reaches 1 year, we're gonna do oil change. All right, so that's it. Take care, guys.